What up, my freaks? RuinousInsight here with part, I want to say, 77 of my Total Warhammer 3 Zhatan the Black Immortal Empires campaign. So as you saw last time, Yoba's Stormbreaker attacked Khemri, or rather, Khemri attacked Yoba's Stormbreaker while he had besieged it, and Cetra and his legions fell to the, I guess, legions of hobgoblins. These hobgoblins have certainly proven themselves throughout their campaign, throughout this campaign rather, in terms of their effectiveness, and I'm proud of the little guys, considering all the contempt that the Chaos Dwarfs feel for their minions. We gotta give them a little love. Anyway, in terms of what we gotta do this time around, since we ended the turn last time, we got a lot of moves to make. We got Morgus Dammon nearby here with something of an army, and all of the ghosties from Belagar in tow. And you know what I'm just thinking? The Deathshrieker rockets are magical damage. I'm curious to see how quickly they'd be able to kill off the ghosty boys. We also have 2 full stacks, or at least near enough to it, nearby. Or Draz will probably go after them. I mean, I was going to originally push him down to Xerexil, but actually doesn't look like anybody's defending it. The thing is, we need to go down to Myrmidons to destroy the followers of Nagash for good, and destroy the Bloody Hands for good, and probably to destroy the the regular dwarfs for good, at least until the endgame scenario arrives, but Balthazar Gelt will probably have to take priority. Anyway, let's begin with what we're doing here. Zhatan has moved last time. Scaff, it's your turn, I guess, though since you took the last territory there, you are no longer needed here. We could jump across the mountains to Zlatlan, I guess, like so. We could use a little bit of healing, but nonetheless. Let's get you here and we'll get to Overseer. Oh, Overseer, true, I can't jump right now, unfortunately, because he took out that last little army. All right, that's fine. We'll just put him right here and then we'll jump the next turn. I wasn't originally going to declare war on Talaqua, but I don't know, I guess we could just quickly raise a few of their territories. I doubt that they're very strong at the end of the day, and we could just give them all to Tzeentch and then allow Tzeentch to do other things. In fact, speaking of Tzeentch, he is at war with Khemri, he is at war with the Cult of Sigmar, and we probably want to try to get him into wars with the High Elves, though, because they've spread out here, and while the Skaven are holding them back because we are now allied with the Skaven, they should become considerably weaker. Maybe a decent argument for us to give them some money as well. Ooh, also, we had a convoy finish up last time. We're at 145, so we can send another one out. Create new convoy. Who's available here? We have 1, 2, and 3. You got 12 troops of Rangni Drakebeard. Let's send you, shall we? Yeah, you're okay. You don't have anything crazy, but we'll add you here. And where do we send you? We want somewhere ideally with the raw materials. We have Summit Black Crag. Any raw materials out here? This is for labor, which we don't need as much, though we do need it to some degree. We could do Crystal Spires, but we already have somebody moving around at 5 turns. 8 turns. 8 turns. I actually don't want to give up armaments. I'd really rather give up gold for pretty much anything at this point. Maybe Black Crag is the best way to go. It is 6 turns. Not much in the way of raw materials, mind you, but I don't see too much in the better options. Alright, let's go Black Crag then. And then we'll max you out. I also probably should have checked you for level ups, points to spend 2. Yeah, there it is. Let's see, hopefully that didn't reset that menu. Convoy ambush, let's go 1 point in Wayfinders and let's start moving through, I think, Black Shard Bulwark. Damn, that screws it up. Annoying. Alright, well, Black Shard Bulwark is still the way to go, so Black Shard Bulwark it is. We probably don't need the extra 10% out of the convoy ambush point thing. And you guys are all bringing labor. We do still need decent amounts of labor, don't get me wrong, but wait. You're rank 15 and you have 3 points to spend. I thought you weren't back yet. You just have less troops. Yeah, we'll send Vragni. Do we want to level you up while you're here, though? Maybe we do. You can get, actually... Damn it. I really don't like the way this menu is designed. It's quite irritating. You also, I guess, will need Black Shard Bulwark. Fair enough. Let's get you Inspiring Presence and Black Shard Bulwark for you as well. Then we will reselect Ragni Drakebeard. We will send him down to Black Crag, like so, and dispatch. Away you go, bud. He only has 12 troops. We could give him another hero of some sort if we desire to do so. What's the likelihood that he can get attacked, though? Right now, this is all our territory, so it's not quite possible for that to happen, so maybe we don't care so much about it right now. Alrighty, who's up next? That was Convoy Zhatan Skev. We'll do the Gelt fight shortly, but I do want to move everybody else around. Thrunbaj, are you able to reach Zufbar? No, so only next turn. Alright, you can head over to Zufbar then, and then attack it next turn. I'll probably need to get you your follower army. I don't remember where your follower army is right now. It was moving around there somewhere. I think we sent it out to... okay, you know what? Let's keep you out here to keep an eye on things. Was this one of the follower armies? We have 2 followers here. No, we have 3 followers here. Yeah, that one of them was probably... I think Overseer Traino was actually originally... either Tordrek's follower or possibly Thrunbaj's follower. Not that it super matters, mind you, but nonetheless. Anyway, Troop Train, you're gonna go out here, Tordrek. I was just thinking about you. Alright, I guess we can have you attack. I mean, this guy's right here in March stance, and we should probably give this a fight. Ooh, also, Tordrek, you are fairly low in terms of your levels, so... Well, I guess you do have sorcerers. We have Hellish Blows for you, but I guess we'll want to get Hellforged Ordnance to keep buffing the Death Shriekers, as they're such a huge part of your army. So, Hellforged Ordnance it is. In 3 points is not too bad. And let's have you attack. These guys should have been leveled up before, and I think they are. I'll just wait until they're both level 50. Alright, attack. We are Valiant Defeat? Really, Valiant Defeat. You sure about that game? Are you really sure about that? You know, somehow I doubt it, but I guess we'll see. Alright, it doesn't look like Tordrek wants to say anything this time around, or at the very least, it seems like his troops were saying stuff, but that's okay. It's not about them right now. It's about what we can get out of these Death Shriekers. I don't think that they've been seeing enough play throughout the campaign, so it's time to see what they can do, and what they will start doing is focusing those single-shot attacks on the enemy ghosties. Yeah, they could go for the enemy infantry, but I haven't found them to be particularly effective at firing on infantry that can actually move. Less so even than perhaps mortars, so we're gonna see how their magical attacks are at assassinating enemy heroes, or especially magical vulnerable heroes, and relatively low HP value heroes like these ghosties. Looks like one of them... Huh, this is interesting. Looks like every single shot missed the this ghosty, but then every single shot hit this one. That's kind of odd. Maybe the explosion from these 3 knocked this one away and thus did no damage. Well, let's see volley number 2. Obviously, the battle will not be decided by the destruction of the enemy ghosts here, and especially because this is going to be a little bit of a fire versus fire sort of battle. We have our Fireborn and our Destroyers, and the enemy have those Iron Drakes, which for... you know, reasons, have 40% fire resistance, where our demons made of fire have 35% fire resistance. This makes much sense, guys. Much sense. Anyway. Hopefully SFO will have adjusted that to some degree, because it is genuinely silly. Huh. This is very interesting. Halkenhaf seems to be taking every hit from the artillery pieces, whereas Thorani is just shrugging them off, or they're missing. The damage that he's taken might actually be from explosion damage from them landing very, very near him, but not actually hitting him directly. Honestly, so far, I'm not getting too much value out of those Death Shriekers, but once again, this isn't really what they're gonna be good for. Yeah, you can use them to assassinate single targets, but once again, you're really much much better off at using them to kill blobs of infantry and enemy range units that are not moving. The problem with them is that they're both too accurate and too inaccurate at the same time when they're using their split shot ability. So when you have your split shot up, the enemies can dodge it just fine because it's relatively accurate, and thus the enemy can dodge the entire volley. If you're thinking of the mortars, for example, they're inaccurate enough so that the enemy can't quite dodge every single shot, and some of the mortar shots will land. So yeah, it's definitely a problem with this particular artillery piece, at least when the enemies are moving. When they're standing still, however, we'll see. Anyway, it's time to begin our other types of bombardment. A flamestorm coming in and hitting the enemies, although the massively fire-resistant Iron Drakes should be able to absorb most of it. Wrath of Zharr, some Bale Tor's breaths, as well as everything we can cast, but the enemy line continues moving forward. It's going to be quite interesting to see how well we can deal with those Iron Drakes, considering they are immune to, or not immune to, but very resistant to all that fire. Though the ash storms, as we have coming in, do help at least a little bit in terms of lowering their resistance, I believe, to 50. Was it minus 35? Yeah, it's a minus... is it gone? No, Fireborn are in the way. It's plus 20%. Oh, it's plus 20% weakness to fire damage. But I take it that essentially means the same thing. Ooh, I do like the combined effect of the Fireborn with the Deathshrieker shots coming down. It's very nice and very fiery. Alrighty. Well, I don't imagine the Longbeards will be too problematic, and while the Slayers may be able to dish out decent amounts of damage to us here, they will, well, they'll still be a threat to the Fireborn, but the Fireborn are sort of similar to Slayers in that they're also a glass cannon and should be able to outkill the Slayers, even if they do take damage. Otherwise, the balance of power is shifted to about 75% in our favor, very much in our favor, I should say, and the battle will probably soon be ours. We can see a Destroyer attacking the enemy Iron Drakes here, and the Destroyer also did take damage due to focus of the... Where are you looking, camera? Of the Iron Drakes on it, because the flame damage still does quite a bit, so we do still have to be careful. Fortunately, all of our units have now tied up all of those enemy Iron Drakes, and now we shouldn't be too worried, other than fighting the enemy in melee, but once again, we should be able to overcome. And here's a completely necessary Flaming Sword of Ruin coming in to make us do even more fire damage. At this point, I'm just going to lean into the fire damage, even though the enemy is resistant to it. Alright, Lamasu doing a little bit of work. And it looks like most of the enemy units that can run are either running or dying. And ooh, they do still have the ghosties fighting, but the ghosties are unbreakable. Though those that can break are now broken. So we just have to kill off those units that have been taken a while. Good job to the ghosties for surviving, though. The one that got killed by the artillery fire was the only one. I guess next battle with this army we'll try not using the single target shots and just go for the multi-shots, although to be fair, we have been using the multi-shots with every single hit from the point that the enemy got a little bit closer. Man, that Lord was very tough to bring down. In fact, he barely took any damage, just so resistant to damage. And now I see that we still have some Iron Drakes fighting. Oh, they have a Rune of Stoicism. Okay, fair enough. That's why they're unbreakable. Unbreakable and fire resistant, but once again we can just drown them in fire. Alrighty, and that looks like that should be pretty much it. Well done to the Fireborn. You look very happy about the state of things, and overwhelming the enemy's anti-fire resistance or fire resistance should be pretty entertaining for them. I'll also watch a couple shots from the artillery pieces coming. Hey, there we go. At least when the enemy's not dodging those shots, they can do a lot of damage. That's the main thing. And once you can stop the enemy from dodging, these artillery pieces can do fairly decent, which is why I think, in terms of like a shootout, against whether it be quarrelers or whatever other range unit that just stands there rather than dodging every shot. They should be able to reduce their numbers fairly quick. Although the problem there is, of course, that other units have to take the hits from the shootout because the artillery pieces themselves can't participate because they just get insta-wrecked. Well, we'll keep trying. I do want to try to find more uses for these things, especially because they look kind of neat, and I love the clanking sounds that these and all the other artillery make. There you go. Alright, let's speed up through the rest of this. We have other things to do here. The last of the Iron Drakes goes down, and a decisive victory for us. Alrighty, there we go. Easy little fight, certainly no valiant defeat like the auto-resolve was saying, though it was interesting to see some fire versus fire. I still think it's one of the dumbest things that they did, though. Well, maybe not that dumb, but it is dumb that the Fireborn have such low fire resistance. Why would a dwarf in an iron suit be more fire resistant than a literal demon made out of fire? They got 40% fire resistance and we have 35%. It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. It's made out of fire. Oh, game. Okay, somebody didn't think that one through. We are going to, I guess, take the labor since the money does little to nothing for us right now. You have yourself a Lamasu as well as now a Power Stone. I'm not sure where you're going to keep that, but we'll figure it out as we go. You can move back to Migdal von Galbarak for now, however, as you are going to want to heal up there a little bit. And, ooh, yes, these guys can move now as well. I guess the question is, who do we send to who? You. I hope you don't get intercepted. I'm not sure that this guy is close enough to actually intercept you, but who knows. Although, another problem, if we send him up there, there's a decent chance that this guy will be too afraid to go for us. And once again, they're building Iron Drakes. I have to wonder whether the reason that the AI is building Iron Drakes is specifically to counteract the fact that we have a lot of units with fire damage, and apparently surprisingly low fire resistance. Oh, game. Okay, well, anyway. Let's have Overseer Vargash take Karak Angazar, then. Like so, quick little auto-resolve. We don't really care about the place, and it's not really worth raising it, so we're just going to occupy this factory for now. Might get rid of it. Ooh, hello, we did get a Lichbone Pennant. That is going to go on one of our main lords. Wait, who got the pennant? Was it you? Yeah, you got the pennant. Alright, we're definitely not giving those to our overseers. I'm pretty sure Draz can handle both of these armies on his own, so we're just going to send him in himself without the need for the reinforcing armies, and the reinforcing armies will proceed towards Draz in a little bit. I just want to make sure that we continue the moves before we do, as we already know that Draz is moving next. You can just stay here, Tordrek. You know what, maybe we'll actually start moving Traino this way, so that he could take care of Dromar, for example. He can act on his own, and then if needed, we'll send Vargash up here to Karak Hearn. So Traino, go this way. We can rejoin Tordrek later on, or you can rejoin Tordrek later on, like so. Alrighty, anyway, back to what we were doing. So Tordrek, you're going to stay still. Gorth, you are going to... well, you're going to stay here for now. That said, first of all, Wintertooth, we want... wait, actually, no, not Wintertooth. You, how about, where's Recruiter Hammerfist? Okay, you have those chosen. There's a lot of units, and now I'm getting confused as to who's using what unit. So this is Gorthy's army. Troop Train has this, the other troop trains have nothing. Okay, let's just put these guys here for now, so that we know which ones have nothing and which ones actually have stuff. Bronk the Grey, you're supposed to join Nabua the Petitas, whose army is now maxed out. Fantastic. I guess the question with Nabua is whether we leave him here to defend Karagzorn, or we use Gorth for that. I guess we could head him over to Karazakarak for when they appear. We'll see how well he can do against them. Alright, Nabua, head out. I guess we're supposed to give him a raider as well, and I guess we can have a raider Hargrimaz follow him. Is a fairly strong raider, but you know what? There we go. And then these two, Raider, Helldower, and Hargrimaz Stout Troll, our ranged army, I guess, are going to head up to fight at Karak Kadrin, wherein, well, they're going to be facing off against Slayers. Okay, so to the Desolation of Drake and more, both of you, and then jump up into the mountains after that. I assume we have 10 turns, so you'll probably have at least a little bit of time to work on some of these territories, but until then, or rather, you can return to Karak Kadrin rather afterwards. Alright, let's keep going. Delete, no, Gorth the Cruel, yes, you. What I was doing with you is, first of all, take Recruiter's Sundries. Great Tauruses, like so. Then, I guess we can have one of the troop trains take the fire units for now, because we're building a fire army. I'm not 100% sure what is going to be in this fire army as yet, other than the fact that it's going to have lots and lots of fire units. So, all of you, and then we'll have some more fire units. So this is on a troop train for now. I just don't want the Recruiter holding them, because, Recruiter, you are supposed to do this. Wintertooth. Frostworms, not for the Fire Army, but rather to put into Gorth of the Cruel's army. Now, I did want to get some Doom Knights here, but I fear that with the amount of allegiance that we currently have with Tzeentch, it's going to be a long time until we can actually get Doom Knights on the field. It might actually be faster to just get 2 more Frostworms. We'll actually see. We could just put some temporary units in there and deal with it afterwards. Otherwise, I don't see any missions, unfortunately. I was hoping to get more missions, but oh well. Anyway, after Gorth of the Cruel, it is Drazuet's turn, which means Draz, it is time to get a big old fight going. We're going to attack the March Dancing army first, I think, because Gelt can't escape it. I don't know whether he would try. Though, on the other hand, I guess the question is, who would we be better off attacking immediately? These guys will be destroyed no matter what. I wonder if Gelt would run. I'm just gonna hope that he won't run. It would be really annoying if he did. Let us level you up, however, Draz. You have skill points after all. What do you have in your army? You have 2 magma cannons. They will soon be able to get benefits out of Bloody Bombardment, so we will get that. No use out of Lucky Lackeys at the current time, however. Flames of Asgore is maxed out, and that's the most important one. You have another point in Mentor, but I think we are better off getting other stuff. Oh, wait. We are trying to get Lightning Strike so that he has it available to destroy Belagar once he comes back. Alright, so we're gonna need to focus on Lightning Strike then, for obvious reasons. Alrighty, and then what about you guys? Oh, you're not maxed out. We actually have mages that aren't maxed out. Doesn't that feel strange at this point in the game? Alrighty, let's get you always ready and expeditious endeavor, and then let's get you whatever it is you need. Let me guess, always ready and expeditious endeavor, and then the same thing, which would be, you actually have the Headdress of Zharr. Wait, why do you have an extra point? Oh, it might be one of the mage skills. All right, that's fine. We'll get you Bandolier. We could also get Spread Corruption, but frankly, it probably doesn't matter all that much. Anyway, Draz, attack. Let's get Gelt first. I'd love to see Gelty fight in the air against Draz. Let's see who wins that. Gelt will not run. Beautiful. That's what I like to see. Gelt, don't be afraid of the fire. You have, you have a face mask to shield you. Although gold melts pretty quickly, I imagine. Alrighty, so it turns out that gold has a very, very high melting point, which is why it is used to plate electronics and such, which I guess does make sense. So that analogy didn't quite work out, but oh well, not a big deal. Looks like it's a Fireborn day today, as we are going to be using more of our fire units in a second battle. A Flamestorm and a Flames of Asgore coming into the enemy line, and we are going to just charge them directly and dish out as much damage as we can, and clearly we're already dishing it out between the flames, the storm, and the ash storm. We can see that the enemy's HP is already extremely low, at least in this blob. The goal here is to annihilate the first army before the second army and gets on the field, and it looks like this should be reasonably effective. We're also going to have Draz chase down Gelt and have a little bit of an aerial duel if we can manage to pull that off while we destroy their infantry, and for now at least ignore the tank, mostly because it would take a lot of effort to bring it down, but we'll get to it in a little bit. Also, I really like that this plateau has one of these skulls and the tank is just like on top of that. That's pretty neat. It's a nice little position, almost as if the AI did that one on purpose. Anyway, back to the battle. We can see Draz flying overhead, dueling in the air, and the sorcerers are dueling the enemy Empire captains as well. Unfortunately, that's actually not a great thing for us, as the Empire captains are much stronger in melee, and then the sorcerers are even on the Bale Tauruses, and we're going to just try to run them away or land them so that they don't take all the damage, I guess. Knights getting absolutely ripped apart by those Fireborn, and well, I guess everything's getting ripped apart by Fireborn and by destroyers, so not much to say about that. Flamestorm is still going as well, but fortunately, because of the fire resistance on this army in general, not a huge deal. I'm still thinking about replacing the Infernal Guard in this army with Infernal Ironsworn, maybe. Just to lean into the fire thing further. Once again, the reason I've put non-Firesworn into this army, as well as a couple of other armies that have lots of fire units, like Tordrex, is because I feel like it's a decent idea to have units that are not dishing out fire damage in the same army, just in case we run into an army that's extremely heavily fire resistant. Like I've definitely had situations where I built a fire army and then promptly ran into, like, you know, a group of orcs with a Wa that has a bunch of lava spiders and lava Arachnaroks, and it's like, how the heck do you even hurt them when they have such massive fire resistance? I'm also pretty sure that lava Arachnaroks and co also have more fire resistance than the fire demons do, which I'm going to keep complaining about. But that, I suppose, is nothing new. Anyway, looks like the Empire captains continue to chase our demon smiths around, but now the destroyers are going to be helping out with that. Some fantastic shots in this particular battle as well, of the Fireborn and the destroyers doing their thing. If nothing else, you gotta admit that these units look spectacular, and all the things they do, and just look spectacular. Oh, it looks like we finally found that Emperor's Wrath steam tank, as somebody pointed out in the comments. This is the, I believe this had a Vissenland Imperial Supply unit, which is kind of interesting because in SFO, the Vissenlanders have the unknown iron sides, and nobody apparently gets the tank. I wonder why that is. It's a pretty cool looking tank is what I'm getting at. Alrighty, well, and funnily enough, the red and the blue color scheme of the tank actually matches our color scheme. I guess the blue could be a little bit darker, but otherwise, it certainly does match. Though it won't match for much longer, as it will soon be a mere ruin. Draz has basically chased Gelt off the field at this point, and it looks like Gelt's army is actually pretty much destroyed, with the reinforcing army moving on the field. At this point, however, considering the fact that we've basically taken no damage on any unit other than our sorcerers, and that only due to the Empire captains, we're not really super concerned with the second army, and we're just going to destroy the second army with our bound abilities and spells. I mean, we're still going to run towards it, mind you, but this was the real army. Ooh, and there's that explosion, the steam explosion from the, well, steam tank. Looking pretty nice as the thing gets destroyed. But once again, too bad we don't have an Imperial ally to put this into an army of ours with more war machines. I'd love to be able to build an army with lots and lots of different types of war machines. Like, yeah, you have decent amounts of war machines on the Chaos Dwarfs, but you could always use more. Or even ally with the regular dwarves to get the access to gyrocopters. not enough mechanical units is what I'm getting, as what I'm getting at. Anyway, the second army, as we can see, is pretty badly beat up. This is due to the Dreadquake mortars and the other bound abilities like the Doom of Hashut, and obviously the single unit of summoned units. We also have spells coming in, and our other units are moving in to help as well. Not that they're really needed. Oh wow. The Stir River Patrol's color scheme looks really different from, well, obviously it looks different, but looks quite different from Geld's color scheme, though it'll look quite bloody and scorched after the flames of Asgore come in again from Draz, and I believe with the flames coming down, the balance of power shifts about 99% in our favor, as the only unit left on the field is a second Emperor's Wrath steam tank. Fantastic. Alrighty, and Draz is here to knock the thing out. Oh, I actually like the I like the look of the Bale Taurus against the apparently Slaneshi skies. The skies are awful pink and purple hued up there. That's a nice little duel between these two as well. So I take it the steam tanks can't fire the main gun when in melee. They can only fire the steam turret up top. You just sort of run towards the enemy and use steam expulsion abilities. Oh, and we have a destroyer helping surround the thing. Not because Draz needs it, mind you, he's still at full HP, even after going after Gelt and stuff. Maybe I should have actually sent Draz to kill off the Empire captains first, rather than letting them chase around our units of Sorcerer Prophets. Or Demonsmith Sorcerers, rather. But oh well, not a big deal. Anyway, there we go. The last of the steam tanks goes down, and this extremely pretty battle comes to an end. Apparently a close victory. And what I was getting at was the reason that I had Draz chase Gelt around was I figured that Gelt should probably be killed so that he isn't able to cast anymore, rather than the Empire captains. Maybe was a right decision. Either way, I think either way it would have worked, so at the end of the day it won't matter all that much. Anyway, a close victory for us by virtue of probably the mana expended. I don't imagine we took all that much damage, but let's find out. As in, on anybody other than the demons. Alrighty, well, a nice little fight for Draz. He absolutely wrecked both of those armies without too much trouble. 0 losses, though the 2 sorcerers did get beat up by those damn Empire captains that just kept on chasing them around. This was my mistake in keeping them in the air, thinking that they could get away rather than just keeping them on the ground near the rest of the forces, wherein we could have forced the enemy to fight them in melee. At the very least, the Fireborn and the Destroyers both had a grand time obliterating the enemies of various types. Those poor infantry units just couldn't stand up to that sort of thing. Anyway, we got 300 labor, or we could, well, pay 2% replenishment. Okay, it's not worth it. It's just not worth it. Alrighty, Guilty, you are going to back off, hopefully too far, or not too far, rather, not too far, damn it. Okay, no, we're fine. Just out of curiosity, can either of you reach him? No. I was hoping to get the bonus armor. Gelt Straight would be pretty good on an Overseer army, a Gabo army after all, but it's okay. We should, I believe, be able to auto-resolve this. Yes? Yes. Probably gonna take damage to our 2 sorcerers, yeah, because they were already hurt, and clearly they needed to be hurt more, even though they were sorcerers. Literally irrelevant what we take here. And there we go. Alright. Well done to Draz. Now, he could take Fort Sol, or, well, I guess, you know what, he's near to Karakazor already, so he might as well go this way. Maybe. Depending on somebody else could take care of this. I still think that somebody needs to take out Myrmidons, though, so that doesn't really change. You know what, go right here for now, and I will consider it. There's definitely choices as to where we move, because Tordric could also do this, but at the same time, there's a lot of territory being held by the Golden Order that needs to be, by and large, raised. Anyway, either way, with that, we are out of time this episode. I'm going to have to call it here. Next time, well, I don't remember who still has to move, but there's at least a few, and then we'll end the turn, and then hopefully the endgame scenario will become nigh, at which point the preparations will, well, continue. I was about to say begin in earnest, but really continue in earnest. We will also be sending more of our new armies out, and we have to build, I think, one more army to defend Karak Azorn against the Karak Azorn dwarfs that will spawn there, but otherwise we're reasonably ready. We have Zhatan nearby to where Thorak will spawn. He should be able to take care of it. We do need to send somebody back to Karak Azul. We have somebody heading out to Karazakarak, rather. That'll be Nabua the Petitas. Thrunbaj is at Zufbar, and we have Hargrim, our range army, moving to Karak Drin. So all of those armies will spawn, and they will suffer for their trouble. I think a few of these armies will not have Lightning Strike, unfortunately, which is going to be something of an issue, especially for Thrunbaj. So those that do not will need overseers near them or a secondary army. Anyway, I digress. Getting ahead of myself as I usually tend to do. More Zhatan to come, so stay tuned. Don't forget to leave a like and comment, especially if you prefer these particular episodes updated reasonably fast, especially compared to other campaigns that are currently out competing. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.